Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? It's lovely here today. It's been a bit cool, earlier in the week, but now we're getting into the swing of things and it's actually not so cool. For autumn, welcome. And for everyone in the Northern Hemisphere who's enjoying spring, lucky you. No, it's all good. Everything in life is for a season, and I certainly enjoy when it gets a bit cooler here as opposed to the humidity. How are you travelling this week? What have been some of your goals this week, and how are you going about achieving them step by step? Have you put down on paper what you would like to achieve and broken it down into a structure so that your whole entire being can be safe, can feel safe with the decisions that you're making? Are you allowing yourself to trust yourself to make these decisions? Oftentimes these are questions that we need to ponder along our journey so that we can see either how far we've come or the next steps that we'd like to take, or we can acknowledge that we're really, really soaked in happiness, that we're making these steps. We're giving ourselves, a pat on the back and saying, hey, we're doing this, we're getting there. Sometimes we need that. We need the proactive language so that we can continue to reinforce within our whole being. So not just our external, this is what the whole world sees, but our internal, this is what I need to be affirming for me in my day-to-day life. Now, sorry, I got a bit carried away with the questions this morning. My name's Linda. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I'm here to help you have information that you can share with your mental health practitioner, be it a therapist, a trauma recovery coach, a mentor, to help you build into your day-to-day life effective strategies and effective structure that helps you create a foundation to newness, to wholeness, to being able to move from survivor to thriver. Now today I just want to share a little bit of information with you about distraction techniques, and I really found these are starting to work for me. I'd never thought about this before, but I did some research yesterday and I actually used one yesterday as well, like consciously used one. It didn't just happen along my pathway. Good morning, Will. It's wonderful to see you here this morning, even though I know it's your evening. So distraction techniques. So first of all, before we go too much further, what are they, and how do they come into play? So distraction techniques are something that we, either as mental health practitioners or as clients, as people who are actively choosing to work our recovery journey, can use. So they're used for when we're having flashbacks, they're used for when we're having intrusive thoughts, they're useful when we're having overwhelming emotions, unsafe impulses. They're useful in the challenges of day-to-day living, and especially where we're having times where we're recycling thoughts or emotions. So think about times when you can only think about one thing and it's going over and over and over and over again. It's like this endless tape recorder. Hands up those who remember what a tape recorder is. Oh my goodness. So it's like an endless audio recording in your brain that says the same thing repeatedly and just won't stop. And it makes you feel like, really weighed down, really heavy, borderline tears with frustration. And then with the emotions and with the memories, they're so crippling. And it's like, when will this ever stop? When can I get off this bandwagon of the same thing, same day, same time, in and out? So this is why we're going to use distraction techniques, and they're actually an under-discussed and underused practice from everything that I've read. So we use them to shift our neurobiological focus. So not just everything that's happening that we are aware of, so our thoughts and emotions, but we also use them to start rewiring what's happening for our brain. Because if you've watched the video on automatic thinking, you'll be aware that there are thoughts and emotions that will happen automatically without us even having an inspired moment. And there's nothing inspiring about all of these things that are happening. But we can learn to catch hold of them and rewire what we're thinking. And I was actually reading today as well, the things you do in the morning, early morning reading, about loneliness as well, and about how the cure for loneliness, we have all of these things which are effective, but the most highly effective cure for loneliness is actually working with the thoughts at the time period they began, working with what the thoughts are, and beginning to, not just use distraction techniques, but beginning to use effective measures to change those thoughts around. Good morning, Brooke. Good morning, Kathy. It's wonderful to have you both here. And welcome, Brooke. It's your first time. So what are we going to do when all of these things are happening? And we need to use a distraction technique. So for me yesterday, I became aware that I was going down the same rabbit hole when it came to things emotionally. So when somebody, it's not that they mean to make me feel a certain way, but when my emotional response to somebody is producing the same results again and again and again, I went, I've got to do something to shift out of this whole energy, this whole feeling. And you know how that there's this whole pervading sense that, oh my goodness, do I have to go over this again? And what I did was, because what happened was I found that not only were the feelings going down the same hole again, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I found that my whole centre of being started to go, right, how, you're not going to be able to do everything that you want today. Let's just sit here. And it's not that you consciously say, let's just sit here and do nothing, but it's almost like you're soaked in this whole essence of, well, there's no point in even starting to do anything. And it's like being in freeze mode. And I just went, you know what? I'm really sick of this, and I'm really sick of how this impacts my day-to-day life and my day-to-day journey. And I want this to change. So what I did was, first of all, I got up and moved my body, and I just went, whatever this is, it's got to go. I've got to shake it off. I don't understand why I'm continually soaked in this. Well, I do from the neurobiological aspect, in that when we've experienced this trauma, our body and brain are just like on repeat. And because it's safe, repeat is safe. But I went, repeat isn't healthy. Repeat isn't letting me get up and achieve all the things that I really want to achieve and feel passionate about. So after I got up and shook my body, I went, okay, I'm aware, because of how everything's wired inside of me, I can't do the things that I want to do, but I'm going to just sit and I'm going to work at my computer on things that I like to do. So they're like, for me, and this probably sounds funny to some people, but for me, working on the back end of my website and working on doing creative products and so much more for other people is a joy. I find it easy, I find it fun, and it helps me begin to put information together. So I got up and I went, okay, I can't do everything that I want to do. And you're aware that you can't do it, because, again, it's like we're soaking in it day to day. And I just went, I'm just going to move and change my mind, change my focus onto things that I enjoy. And you know what? Within 10 minutes, here I was, back to my normal self, and then back to being able to make decisions about the work I wanted to do. And I was like, this is amazing, just by using a distraction technique of getting up and doing something that I enjoy doing. I went, this is powerful. It shifted everything within me, and then gave me, within that 10-minute space, it gave me full ability to then be able to say, right, get back to my day-to-day life, or, my to-do list, or I like to call it my ta-da, I'm getting this done list. And I was able to feel joy. And I went, that's amazing. Just by making a simple choice to go, okay, I can't do X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to do something I enjoy. It changed my whole wiring. I was like, wow, we need to do more of this. Hence why I went and researched distraction techniques for everyone. So what are some of the things that we can do that we may feel joy about, that are simple, but they will change our neurobiological wiring right in this moment so that we can effectively get back on track for the day. So we can do things like watch a TV show or movie. We can sing. I've been a proponent of this for forever, that when we sing, so think about, car trip, we go on a car trip and we always put on the music and we always sing, and it creates such memories in our family. Oh my goodness. We have memories of road trips and singing, and it's such a powerful force of joy. So that's one thing for us as a family. And if you've got little kids, get your kids involved. Heck, my kids are adults and I'll get them involved. Watch funny or cute YouTube videos, draw mindlessly, colour, play with clay. Now, obviously, if you're going to play with clay, you want to get something, in advance, organise it in advance. But if you don't want to get messy, which would be me, I wouldn't want to mess for, 20 minutes or whatever, get some plasticine. Oh my goodness, just have some fun with it. Get some plasticine. And if you're a therapist, get some plasticine and get someone to do just even a little picture in front of you from the plasticine and just playing with it. It'll just shift everything around and you won't have to say a word. Grab a snack. Sometimes we forget to eat. Sometimes we forget to drink. So check in and see if you need to eat or drink. It's a good thing. And I read about how drumming on the surface, so you know how you get your fingers and you go like this on the surface? It's actually hooked into a whole lot of neurobiological stuff. So it can be something just sitting there drumming on the surface, and it changes things around. And I was like, wow, that's easy. Have a fun app on your phone. Actually, these are actually a mini computer, they're not a phone. And do that as a good distraction technique. Oh, plasticine. Oh, sorry, Will. Yeah, plasticine is like Play-Doh. It's just more plastic, so you wouldn't make it. And it's, like Play-Doh, just not as malleable as Play-Doh. Is it a Kiwi thing? I don't know. I'm Aussie. But I'll look it up. But Play-Doh will do. Just get Play-Doh out and do that. But you have your stuff too. I can't remember what it is. I know you have something in your hand that you mould as well. What was that? And you could use it as well. Jump up, wash our face, brush our teeth, and another one, put your feet in water. Oh my goodness, doesn't that feel so good? Well, I enjoy it. That'd just change things around. Play with a pet. Do you know that playing with a pet has so many good somatic, not implications, you can use it with somatic therapy, and it's really good. Wrong island. Thanks, Will. That's so true. Applies cream to your skin. So even as a therapist, you can use that. You have cream, and I do have some somewhere behind me, just to rub into your hand, rub up your arms, and it's very good because you're using your senses as well. So anything that you can use your senses with. Now, how do we use the distraction technique? First of all, have a list of 5 that you have on your phone And when you're feeling that yuck or the emotions are just, they're overwhelming or the thoughts are on recycle, so you can go, right, this is my plan, that when I get stuck in this funnel of sameness, I'm going to use a distraction technique and pre-plan 5 that you can use immediately that are simple. Start off with simple, time effective, and it'll make you feel better about it, okay? Obviously, you can't plan for this when this happens, because it just all comes from what's going on in our brain or what was programmed, soft-wired when we were children, all right? But what we can do is have a plan ready for when this does happen. And make sure that you have the courage to change things up. Oftentimes people get stuck because they're still trying to find the courage to change things up. So then you need to ask your question, am I going to have the courage to change things up? Okay, Will's just written a bit here which I want to share with you. Will says, for me, an anxious avoidant, distraction can be negative, a form of denial, but this is a positive form of distraction, like going to the toolbox of trauma-informed grounding practice to distract and change how we are affected when in emotional flashback or triggered state. Yeah, that's right, Will. You're welcome. Taking positive action where you have strengths and enjoy yourself into a grounded space. That's exactly right. And with anxious avoidant, if you want to, it's like being willing to positively reinforce that you need to do this so that you are then it's the first step to getting back into positive focus, okay, into a proactive focus. So it's changing up the mentality to, I want to have a proactive approach to my day, all right? So it's not, okay, I can realise that I'm anxious avoidant, but I also want to turn things around for me so that I am proactive in the decisions I'm making about the structure of my day as well. So think about it from that perspective and changing around the thoughts in order that when you flip the order of thoughts around in relation to anxious avoidant, we're actually being proactive and saying, yeah, I can make these choices and I can see that they will help me move towards a more productive day. And as somebody that can flip into anxious avoidant in the past, definitely, it really is. I've found for me that at a heart level, so this isn't the logical level, I've found for me that it builds courage and builds on a deeper foundation of courage to keep going and being willing to change things up. Okay? I hope that all came out in the right order. All right, guys. If you have any other further questions or comments, please feel welcome to ask. It's not a problem at all, and I'm happy to find answers. But be proactive. Make a conscious intent. Set this intent that you're going to have, look, even not 5, you're going to have 3 things that are your go-to, that when you realise that you're going down the same rabbit hole, that you want to change things up so that it does at the neurobiological and the physical level, it changes things up for you and you get back your joy. Because it's really, really worth it. Life is worth it. Good friends, like all of you that come and join in, are worth it. They are worth us turning up every single day. Okay, have a gorgeous day, gorgeous evening, wherever you are in this world, and thanks for tuning in today. I really value and appreciate you. Bye for now.